I got a serious hypothetical for believers. If I told you that I saw someone yesterday multiply fishes, and he claimed to be a god, if you're like most people, you wouldn't believe me. If that person claimed to be the second coming, personified, not only would people not believe it, but most Christians would be outraged. I'm thinking about David Koresh and Joseph Smith. These are people who have made this claim. It would be a blasphemous claim to make. It'd be absurd. If this fella made it to TV to try and prove it, and multiplied fishes on TV in front of all of America, you'd be convinced it was a trick. There'd be nothing he could do to prove it to you. And if that isn't the case for you, and if anyone who has mastered sleight of hand could convince you he was God, then this video isn't directed to you. Frankly, I think you're either not being honest with yourself or you're too far gone to even follow my logic. But for everyone else who's willing to put themselves in this hypothetical situation and realize that many of the things taken as truth in the Bible would be unbelievable if they were to happen today. Even if you saw these things happen, you wouldn't believe it. So, how then is it more plausible when you haven't seen it? How is it more plausible when it happened generations ago? Why is it that less evidence equals more credibility? How does that whole thing work for believers? How can you believe what you haven't seen and yet become instantly skeptical when it becomes real? Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't believe either one, but it seems to me that the one I could see would be the one that would be more likely to convince me. But this is how I feel about the Bible. It's a book, a very old book, pieced together over hundreds of years from many different authors. And I don't want to get into the conflicting information in the Bible, but the sum of that too, just overall not very convincing. So how do you believe it? I hear Christians always trying to convert people, and I literally have no idea how to believe that stuff. It's quite simply impossible to do for me. Anyway, help me with that question. I'm really interested in your answers.